Good morning, students. As you know that in the previous class we had discussed the various properties of SI system of units. What are the various properties of SI system of unit we had discussed, and also we had discussed about the two supplementary angles, that is radian and steradian, and we had defined the radian and steradian properly. Now in today's class, in today's video, we are going to discuss the measurement of mass. How mass, as you know that mass is a physical quantity which needs to be measured. Mass is a physical quantity which needs to be measured. And as you also know that the mass, the range of mass varies from very small, that is 10 to the power minus 30 kg, that is mass of electron, to 10 to the power 53 kg, that is mass of universe. So it is not accurate to measure if so much a small mass, that is of the value 10 to the power minus 30 kg, and so big mass, that is 10 to the power 53 kg, with the same instrument. So various other techniques are required for the measurement of mass. And since we are studying the chapter units and measurement, so measurement is the quite important point to be discussed. So in today's topic we will discuss about mass. What is mass? After that we will discuss what are the different types of mass, and what is the difference between these two types of masses, and after that their measurement techniques. Then some practical units of masses. What are the practical units of masses which is generally used in our day to day life? Then what are the variation of range of masses, and what are the different types of masses in various ranges? Then how the measurement of mass is dependent on that range, and what are the various methods? Okay, clear, students? So now let us start. Measurement of mass. Look at here, measurement of mass. Measurement of mass. This is the measurement of mass. So you all are aware about mass. What is mass? Mass is nothing. Mass is the inertia or reluctance which is present in a body. The reluctance or inertia, whatever in which term you can indicate. Okay, the reluctance or inertia present in a body is only due to its mass. So you can very easily you can say that mass is the fundamental property of matter and is the measure of quantity of matter that an object possesses. What is the quantity of matter? As you know that matter is what? Matter is the amount of the matter is anything which has mass and that occupies a space. Means a matter has its inherent property, that is mass. So the amount of substance present in any body is termed as its mass. The mass is the fundamental property. Mass is the fundamental property. Fundamental property of matter and is a measure of the quantity of matter than that an object possesses. What are the quantity of matter which is possessed by any object? Quantity of matter that is possessed by any object is called as mass. Now look at here, there are two types of masses we need to study and how we are going to measure it. First one is inertial mass. So first of all we will know about what is inertial mass. I am indicating with MI. What is inertial mass? So as it is clear from its name, inertial mass means that mass of a body which indicates about its inertia. And later on we will study about inertia. Inertia is nothing. Inertia is the hindrance, reluctance or opposition created by any matter to change its state, and it is totally depend upon its mass. There is a little difference between gravitational mass and inertial mass. Inertial mass is that mass in which we are not going to bother about its gravitational force. And how can we judge the inertial mass for any body? So for that measurement of, for to judge the inertial property of the body, we need to measure the inertial mass, and there is certain technique which is used for the measurement of inertial mass. Clear? So no, write it down. The inertial mass. It is a measure of. It is a measure of a reluctance that is inertia on the part of the object to change its motion when force is applied on it. Means it is quite clear that it is the measurement of the hindrance property or reluctance property on the part of the object, on that part of the object which is under the influence of force, and which is under the influence of force, or on that part of the body when force is applied, whatever the reluctance or hindrance produced by the body in changing its state, the measurement of that hindrance and reluctance is called as inertial mass. That is called as inertial mass. Now we will develop the technique. We will now develop the technique to measure the inertial mass. Inertial mass. Measurement of inertial mass. Measurement of inertial mass. How inertial mass is measured? So to measure inertial mass, what we will do? We will take a rigid support, and from that rigid support a hinge-like structure is which is movable, and over here a pan is fixed, and upon this pan a mass m is placed. On that pan a mass m is placed. This is metallic strip. And this is a rigid support. A rigid support. Now what we will do? look at here, there is a rigid support and a metallic strip. Horizontally we had fixed a metallic strip through the rigid support, and we had placed a pan on metallic strip, which is on that pan we had placed a mass, a small m, and now horizontally we are moving. Since we are moving this metallic strip, since this metallic strip is movable, so we are moving this metallic strip in horizontal direction. Horizontally we are moving, so there is no any effect of gravity, because we are only considering the motion of the metallic strip in horizontal direction. We are considering only in horizontal direction, so the force of gravity does not going to influence this metallic strip. Clear? So all things I am not mentioning here, writing here. So we can say that since there is a horizontal motion and that motion is simple harmonic, so we can correlate the mass with the time period of horizontal vibration. Time period of horizontal vibration. Time period means what? To and fro motion, to and fro motion, to and fro motion. That is initial, mean, final, mean, then initial. That is so that type of horizontal motion. So we will study in further classes in oscillation and simple harmonic motion. We will study quite in detail and all the equations of simple harmonic motion. So for as far as here is concerned, so we can correlate the time period of oscillation of the horizontal oscillation of the metallic strip with the mass placed on the pan, and it can be mathematically related under root np. This is our equation number 1. T is the time period, mp is the inertial mass of the pan. Now suppose if m1 and m2 are inertial masses, of two bodies. These are the inertial masses of two bodies, and T1 and T2 are their corresponding time period. Corresponding time period. These are the time periods of vibration of horizontal metallic strip. So then T1 is directly proportional to under root m1 plus mp. Clear? Mass of the pan plus the mass kept over here. Both are added, both the mass is added, and for that T1 is directly proportional. And similarly, T2 is directly proportional to m2 plus mp. Now from equation 1 and 2, this is clear to all, 1 and 2. So then we can say that T1 square upon T2 square is equal to, this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So T1 square upon T square, T1 square upon T square, and this is equal to M1 upon and plus MP upon MP, and it will give the value M1 upon MP plus 1. And from here you can write T1 square upon T square minus 1 is equal to M1 upon MP. Now further, T1 square minus T square upon T square is equal to M1 upon MP. This is equation number 3. In the similarly we can calculate T2 square minus T square upon T square is equal to M2 upon MP. Similarly, if we are going to take T2, then squaring T2 and dividing it with equation 1, then T2 square is equal to M2 MP upon T square is equal to MP, and it will give M2 MP plus 1. That is equal to M2 MP. Mark it equation number 4. Now from equation dividing equation 3 with equation 4. Dividing equation 3 with equation dividing equation 3 with 4. So then we will get what? M1 upon M2 is equal to T1 square minus T square upon T2 square minus T square. This is the final formula, that is comparison of both the masses we had got, M1 and M2. And if we are knowing the time periods of oscillations, now here, if initially we are knowing the time period of oscillation of the pan without mass, and after that the horizontal oscillation of the mass M1, that is equal to T1, and time period for horizontal oscillation of mass M2, that is T2, and M1 we are knowing, then M2 we can find easily by using this formula. M1 is equal to standard mass, M2 is equal to unknown mass, so M2 can be determined by M2 can be determined, or M2 can be calculated by knowing T1 and T2. T1 and T2, by knowing this T1 and T2, we can easily find the value of M2. This is all about the inertial mass. Inertial, in case of inertial mass, there is no any rule of gravity. It is only horizontal oscillation, and in horizontal oscillation the inertia plays very important role. So applying the equation of simple harmonic motion, we had calculated the final formula, that is M1 upon M2 is equal to T1 square minus T square upon T2 square minus T square. And from this relationship, if we are knowing mass M1, then the unknown mass M2 can be calculated. Next, our discussion is gravitational mass. Gravitational mass. Gravitational mass is nothing. Gravitational mass is nothing. Gravitational mass is only the gravitational force which are acting on an object is the result of gravitational mass. And generally gravitational mass can be measured by the help of a spring balance or weighing balance, where G is come into picture. When G comes into picture, in that case gravitational mass is measured. And in all the cases, while you are talking about spring balance or wing balance, in all these cases, the gravitational force came in account. And so, whatever the mass we had measured by these methods is called as gravitational mass. So, gravitational mass of a body is measured by the help of spring balance or weighing machine. Spring balance for small masses is 5 kg, 6 kg, 10, 1 kg, 2 kg, half kg, all masses. Spring balance 5 kg, 10 kg, 15 kg by weighing machine. Weighing machine. Now we will discuss about some practical units of mass. What are the practical units of mass? Various units of mass it is well known to you, such as quintal, ton, carat, all the, but various practical units are not very commonly used, but it should be in our knowledge. So let us see some practical units of mass. Some practical units of mass. Some practical units of mass. And what are the practical units of mass? The first one is slug, and it is equal to 14.57 kg. All masses I am indicating in kg. Second one is quintal, Q, and it is equal to 100 kg. Third one is ton, and it is equal to 1000 kg. Fourth one is 1 CSL, Chandrasekhar limit, named after scientist Chandrasekhar limit, and it is equal to 1.4 solar mass, and it is equal to 1.4 into 2 into 10 to the power 30 kg, which is equal to 2.8 into 10 to the power 30 kg. There is no any concept, only you have to know the values, because sometimes it might be asked. The values are in general talk or day-to-day life, it is generally used. Fifth, one unified atomic mass unit. One unified atomic mass unit, U, and it is equal to 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. 6. 1 carat, that is equal to 200 mg. These are the practical units. Carat is also used for the determining pureness of gold. pureness of gold. And pure gold, that is approximately equal to 24 karat. Pure gold is equal to 24 karat. Now we will discuss about range of mass in kilogram. Range of mass means to say that range of mass in kilogram. These are the practical units. We have gone through the practical units. Now we will discuss about range of mass. Means since mass is a physical quantity and we have to come across various in this universe, because physics is the study of nature and its natural phenomena. So while studying physics, we have to come across various smaller and smaller physical quantity and larger physical quantity. Suppose size of the universe, mass of the universe, size of electron, size of proton, size of human beings, size of moon, all things we have to. So for this, we we have a imagination that what is the order of mass, means in this universe from where to where the mass is going to vary. What is the order of the heaviest or bigger body in this universe and a smaller thing in this universe? What is the range of mass? What is the order of mass? So range of mass, look at here, range of mass in kg. Range of mass in kg. Range of mass in kg. First one is universe. Universe, that is equal to 10 to the power 53 kg. Second one, our galaxy, 10 to the power 41 kg. So there is various like that mass of the earth. Similarly, I am going to, you will see in the book it is written proton 10 to the power minus 27 kg, electron 10 to the power minus 30 kg, human body, human being 10 to the power 2 kg. So you will see that the largest mass to the smallest mass, largest mass upon the smallest mass, the ratio of largest mass upon smallest mass, and it is equal to 10 to the power 53 upon 10 to the power minus 30, and this is equal to 10 to the power 83. This is the ratio of largest mass to the smallest mass, and that is equal to 10 to the power 83. Okay? This is the variation of range of mass and the various order of masses it is given here. Range dependent mass measuring technique. The range dependent mass measuring technique. Range dependent mass measuring technique. Range dependent mass measure techniques. Okay, so in this discussion we will study about the various methods of measurement of masses for a medium sized object, small size object or large size objects. And there are two methods considered in the measurement of any physical quantity, either it is length, mass, or time. So these two methods are what? These two methods are direct method and indirect method. Direct method is appreciable method in which we use the instrument directly over the object and measure its value. But in direct method, certain calculations are required, certain assumptions are required, and after that we will calculate, we will find, or we will measure the given physical quantity. So this is for today, and in the next video we will discuss further. Thank you students, have a good day.